Okay, so myself and Jeff have been out today taking a few pictures, and yeah, had a nice time up in a very foggy Peak District. And on the way back, Jeff did ask me, he wanted to print or do multiple prints of one image. I think to fit in some coasters that he's bought or something of that. But what he wanted to do was to print a series of images in a grid. Well, the same image multiple times in a grid, so we can cut them out and put them in these acrylic coaster mats that he's got. So what we'll do is we'll just start off with a square image, because that's what Jeff wants. I think the images that he wants to print, or the prints that he's looking for, need to be 3 inches by 3 inches. So that's what this demo is going to work on. I'm a little bit tired, so if I sort of start umming and ahhing and get a little bit sideways in this, I apologise. So anyway, we've got a square image, and I'm going to go over to print, and here we can see we've just got this image sitting in the cell that it sits in on the paper, and this is the last cell that I had it set to. So we're just going to go to setup, or page setup I should say. As you can see, I've got my Epson Stylus 4800 hooked up to this, and it's on A4 paper. Jeff is on a Canon Pixma Pro. I think it's a Pixma Pro. It is a Canon printer. It's an A3 printer. So what we'll do is we'll set this to A3 sheet, and we'll click OK. Now these light grey areas that you can see around the edges of the paper, these are the Epson 4800 non-printable area. So, you know, I mean, you've just got to work around that. It'll be different for all printers, but we actually need to be printing multiple copies of this image on the same sheet of paper, and we obviously need to print them to the size Jeff wants them, which is 3 inches by 3 inches. So if we look at our ruler up the top here, this is set out in inches, and you can see we've got just over 11 inches of printable area. And if we're 3 inches by 3 inches, so that's 3 threes, 4 of them would be 12. So we can only have 3 squares along here, or 3 by 3 images along here, and we can fit 4 in down the length. So here we go. First thing we need to do is, I'll make it simple. We'll go over to the Lightroom templates, and we'll just pick out a 4x5 contact sheet. Just makes life a little bit easier. And as you can see, we've got the image in the cell, and it's got the file name underneath it. So what we need to do first off is to where's it gone? Where's file info? There we go. Photo info, file name. Turn that off. So now you can see the image actually fills the cell completely. Now we need to specify the number of cells. So if we've got 3 across, which is what we need, then the number of columns would be 3. So we'll change that to 3, and the number of rows will be 4. Okay, we'll hit return on that. And what do we need to do next? We need to come down and check out the cell size, because the cell size is currently set to 3.81 inches. So we want 3 inch images, so the cells need to be 3 inches square. So we'll just click there and just type 3, and before we hit return, just making sure we've got this check box ticked there which says keep square, and lo and behold, we've got 3 by 4 in a grid of 3 inch by 3 inch cells. The next thing we need to do is just drag the margins in, and we can do these manually because you need to give yourself room to get this on a guillotine to cut them up, or use a pair of scissors, whichever is your ilk. Need a rather large cutting mat and a big steel ruler and a good sharp knife. That would work out well. But the other thing we need to do is to facilitate chopping these images up, we just need to come down and go to page options, and we'll apply some crop marks, and that will just give us little dashes on the corner of each cell so we know where to crop to. And then of course all we need to do is to go and come to this option here under image settings, repeat one photo per page, and there we go. So that is 12 3" by 3" images printed out onto an A3 sheet, which in Jeff's case should work out just nice for a dozen coasters. Yay! I hope that helped, Jeff. I hope that sorted you out how to make a custom print template, and of course you can always go and save it out, and we'll just call this Jeff's Coasters. And there we go. So now we can see we've got a user template, Jeff's Coasters. Lovely. I hope that helps, guys. I hope that helps sort out your problem, Jeff. And I'll see everybody very soon. Toodaloo.